Hello guys, first of all I welcome you all to this interview question series, and we are seeing some of the interview question related to Python. We already completed 2 sets regarding that, and we are in the set 3 continuing with that trend. Okay, so let's get started with the today's session. So what is pandas? Okay, the first question is what is pandas? So pandas is an open source library that brings some of the functions related to data cleaning, data manipulation and data analysis, and immensely useful for doing an exploratory data analysis in Python. Pandas is the word consists of the two main terminologies called panel and then data analysis. So panel word comes with the label data we have, right? Label data we have, where for each of the data we assign some of the indexes, and the collection of those label data named as a series, and the collection of those series named as a data frame. So we got the two basic data structure with respect to that called series and data frame. And again, that's all about the pandas we have. It's an open source Python library used for the manipulation, cleansing and doing an exploratory data analysis with respect to the data we have. Yeah, so let's move forward with the other questions we have. What is data frame, right? So what is data frame? Again, data frame is a pandas data structures. So pandas data frame is a data structure in pandas that is mutable. Okay, means you can add, delete or manipulate element within that data frame. Then we pandas have a support of a heterogeneous data. What is meant by heterogeneous data? A different data type, can be a string, can be an integer, can be a floating point literals. You can take any, which is arranged across the two axes called rows and columns, or we can say that data frame is an pandas object where we get the 2D representation of a data, or we will get the matrix representation of a data. And how can we create the data frame? So let's suppose if we have a CSV file which is a comma separated value, or Excel file, then we can use the built-in method called read CSV or a read Excel, and then pass the location of the file if you are working on the local system, and just get that data frame you want. And before that you have to just import the pandas in your environment. So let's just go ahead my Colab notebook. So I have already imported the NumPy and pandas libraries. So let me just try to create one data frame. Okay, so df is equal to, df is nothing but the variable I have for the data frame, then pd dot read csv comma separated value, and I have to pass some URL, right? So how can I get the URL? So right now I'm working in the Colab notebook, and if you are using the different kind of environment, then the approach may be different for getting those URL. Right now for the Colab notebooks there is a folder icon is there. Click over that and you will get the predefined CSV here, right? Predefined CSV here. You can just click any of the one and copy the path, or you can just upload the whatever the file you have in this folder, and you will able to get that URL. Okay, it's that simple in the Colab notebook. Let me just go here and type the URL is equals to in the double quote. Just take the thing here, and right now I'm just try to get some of the high level records. Let me just execute this thing. Okay, so right now you can see some of the values with respect to that as well. Yeah, so these are my this is my data frame lookalike, right? So the data is nothing but which is available for the machine learning as well. Let me just go here and take another things. So let me just take the train CSV, copy this path, and let me just change their copy change the path here. Okay, let's change the path here. Let me just execute this thing. Okay, so right now I am getting the proper column names and rows are there. So okay, so this is called my data frame, where I get the columns and rows, which is similar like an Excel file. And we have, since there is an index is there, 0 1 2 3 is, it is called the label we have for the data. Clear? So that's how we can create the pandas data frame from the existing CSV or Excel files. Clear? So let's move towards the other question we have. What is pandas series? Again, pandas series is a one-dimensional labeled representation of a data. One-dimensional label representation of a data resemblance the Excel columns we have, in which we assign some of the index value to the records. Okay, index value to the record. It's a basic data structures we have with respect to the pandas. So let me just go here. Okay, again let me just try to add one code cell here. And again for the panda series, it's the same properties. It is a heterogeneous, okay, it is growable, so all of these properties are there. Let me just create one list object here. So let me just take the list object. I am inserting some of the records with respect to that, like one is there, then we have some of the record like a string is there. So we have a record something like floating point literals are there. Then we have something like none object is there. Okay, none is there. Then true is there, the boolean object is there. We have a complex data as well, 3 plus 4j, right? 3 plus 4j, these are the complex we have. So we get the different data. This is the meaning of heterogeneous nature. Right now let me just wanted to create some of the series objects. So let me take the variable series ser, then pd dot series of, let me just pass the list here. So I'm passing the list here, and let me try to print the series here. Just try to print it. So here is your series object. Okay, so we will get the index labels and the values according to that. Clear? So that's how we can just create the series object, and it's a fundamental data structure we have with respect to the pandas. Clear? So move forward with the other questions we have. What do we understand by pandas group by? Okay, so group by, what is first of all we need to understand what is group by in the Python. What is group by in the Python? So group by is something like grouping the similar properties together, right? Grouping the similar things together. Let me just give an example with respect to groups. So if I have a business running all over the India, so we can create a one group with respect to the region, right? North is there, south is there, western is there, eastern is there. So 4 groups are there, and whatever the states belong to that region come under that group. So north region come under the several state, south come under the several states we have, right? Or either we can create the group with respect to the states we have, right? So we will get the similar properties into it. So that's the group by the general definition we have, right? So in the pandas or any other programming language, this is the simplest and accurate representation of group, and it same applies for the working as well. Okay, let's suppose I want to create the group for better analysis of the records. Then I can just go with the group by. So let me just take the same example which is mentioned in the PDF here. Let me just try to copy it. Okay, let me just control C this stuff. Okay, again here I am adding some code cells. Let me just quickly format it. Let me just quickly format this cell and try to explain what the data is all about, right? So df I already created, so let me just take the df new here and okay, and try to print the df new here. Okay, let me just take the df new here. So what this data is all about, let me try to execute this thing. Okay, and here you can see the vehicle name and type, whether it is a car or motorcycle, So this is a basic level of data we have. And what if I wanted to do some grouping operations? So let me just try to count how many, so for each type how many vehicles are there. So right now it's a pretty small data set, it's a sample data set to understand the group by. But if you have a large data sets, then you won't count, right? So you won't count. So how can you do it programmatically? Let me just go here. Okay, let me just go here and try to just do df underscore new dot group by. So what you wanted to group at? Okay, so I wanted to group by type. Okay, and which aggregation I want? So I want count. Let me just execute this thing. Okay, so I am getting one data frame. For car I have a 2 vehicles, for motorcycle I have a 2 vehicles. If I have a data which is large in size, then I can get the more list of the it, like for with respect to the cars and motorcycle, how much the vehicles I have, or we can just take one general example as well, right? One general example like for each of the gender, how much males and females we have with respect to that data. Okay, so let me just go here again, right? Let me just go here again. So we don't have any categorical data. So if we have any categorical data, then we can just use the group by stuff here as well. Yeah, here as well. So this is a group by we have in the pandas. Let's just go ahead with the other example, other questions we have for the session. How to create data frame from the list. Okay, so we have already seen how to create the data frame from the list. Let me just try to reiterate those stuff. So to create the data frame from the list, first we have to create an empty data frame. This is one approach we have. Then add the list as individual columns to the list we have. Okay, so the sample code is look like as this. Okay, so let me try to get into my environment here, and in that environment let me try to take one list of string vals. Okay, so string vals are there, and we check something like A is there, then B is there, then C is there, E is there. Okay, enough is there. So let me just take another list, okay, and which contain int values, okay, which contain int values of 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. So enough is that, and let me try to create one data frame object, empty data frame object. df make is equal to pd dot data frame. Yeah, so empty data frame object is created, and let me just try to just insert some of the record. Let me just try to insert some of the records we have. So df dot make, just reference to it. So what are the column names? Okay, the string values are there, and just passing this list. Okay, same goes with the second list as well, and let me try to just run this code. Okay, so I have created the data frame with respect to the two list object we have. Clear, guys? So this is how you can just create the data frame from the list object. Clear, guys? So let me just go with the other questions we have. How to create the data frame from the dictionary. Okay, if you have a dictionary, then how can you create the data frame? So these are some of the ways we have. Let me just directly go with my environment and try to create some of the dictionary, right? So I'll just go with the direct approach I have. So df dict is equals to pd dot data frame I have, and in that data frame I'll just take the dictionary object. So it is a key value pair, so my key is A, and which takes some values as 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4, and I want a second column in my data frame, which is a B1, and let me just take the some value like 11, 12, 13 and 14, something like that. Okay, 14 is there, so you can just take this one, and try to take the df underscore dict. Okay, so this is how we can just pass one dictionary object which is consist of the key value pair and create the dictionary. Let me just execute this thing, and the data frame is there. Clear, guys? This is how we can just create the data frame objects, or either you can just take this approach as well. So first we create the list as we have done in the last one. Okay, first we create the list, then we'll just pass something like in the dictionary format. So here is my key name, so name of the key, and we will pass this first list object. This is my key 2. I'll pass the second list object, and then we will just create the data frame, or just invoke the data frame method I have, and pass those dictionary object, and the same you will find the dictionary created here. So there are multiple approaches are there. So there is a indirect method is there, there is a direct method is there, and according to your choice, your preference, you can just opt any of these things. The basic criteria for opting each of the method is that just look for the whatever the data you have. If you have the data which is large in number in the list, you can just create a separate variable for the list, and then just wire it up over the dictionary. Okay, or you can just use the comprehensions and looping, all this kind of stuff, and just create the dictionary. Okay, So we'll move forward with the other questions. The most important question we have for the today's sessions: how to combine the data frame in the pandas. Okay, when it comes to combining the data frame in pandas, so there are several updates are there. Okay, so let me just convey those updates as well. Those updates as well first. So when it comes to combining the data, we have a different method. So first method is concat, okay, then merge, and then join. So append method is deprecated in the version in the pandas version of 1.4 or later. Before before the 1.4 version, append method is there to use. Okay, we will see that. Then we have a join method is there, and we have also merge method is there. So let me just go here and take some notes. So let me just take how to, okay, let me just take how to combine the data frame, right? Data frames. So first method is concatenation is there, then we have something like merge is there, then we have something like join is there, and we have something like update is there, which is not come under the thing, but let me just take this as well. Update is there, right? So in the concatenation we basically have two approaches: along axis 0 and along axis 1. These are the two ways we have. Let me just take the merge. In the merge it's like a join. So first it's like a join in SQL. Combines the data in related columns, right? Related columns. And we have a different types of joins as well. So we have a inner join. Okay, we have a inner join is there, then we have a left join is there, then we have right join is there, and we also have some of the things like outer join is there. So these are the different stuff we there with respect to the merge as well. And with respect to the join, it's similar to merge, right? Same as merge, but only combines the data with respect to index column. You can't have a flexibility just like a merge, where you can just find the common column and merge together. It's a strictly talked about the index column we have, right? And in the update we will just update the existing data frame values with new one. So this is the stuff we have with respect to the combining the data frames we have, right? So this is the stuff we have. Again, if we do the concatenation with respect to the 0 axis, it's same as append operation. That's why they removed the append method from which version of pandas? From pandas 1.4 and later. Okay, so if you are having the versions 1.4 or later, you can't find the access of append. Okay, so append, you can't find an access of append with respect to that as well. Clear, guys? So these are the things we have with respect to that. So let's move forward with the other questions we have. What kind of joins does pandas offer? Okay, so if we have to merge the things, then we have a left join is there, inner is there, right is there, outer is there. We have already seen it in the previous question, right? Okay, so these are the things are there with respect to the joining the things. Then the merge operations is there. Okay, then the merge operations is there. Let me just take these questions as well. How to merge the data frames in pandas? Again, the same thing is there. So with respect to the merge operation, merging depends on the type of field and different data frames being merged. Okay, if data has a similar fields of a data is merged along the axis 0 as they are merged along the axis 1 we have. So this is the merging of the data. Let me just go with my environment and let me show you how to do those things with respect to the coding. Okay, so let's suppose I have an merge underscore df1 I have. So let me just take the variable here, and pd dot data frame is there, pd dot data frame is there, and in that data frame I am passing some of the dictionary object. Okay, passing some of the dictionary object here, and let me just take some of the values. Okay, so I have an id is there. Okay, so id is there, and id column contain 101 is there, 102 is there, 103, 104 and 105. So these are my ids, product ids you can take, and we have a quantity is there. Okay, quantity is there, and in the quantity we have something like just take the random values of quantity we have. So 10 is there, 15 is there, 20 is there, 25 is there, and 30. Let's take 30 as well. So df2 is there again. Okay, and df2 same id column is there, and price is there for each of these things, 100, 200, 300 and 500 we have. Let me just close all of these things. Okay, and we have created two dfs, df1 and merge df2, and want to combine the data according to the common column. So what are the columns I have? Common columns I have right now. Okay, what are the common columns I have right now? So id is my common fields. Let me just go here. Okay, so m df1 dot, so m underscore df1 dot merge of m underscore df2. How you want to merge? Okay, how you want to merge? So I want it like a inner join. I want it like a inner join. I want it like an inner join, and on what? On which column do you want that to be happen? So I want that to be happen in the with respect to id. Okay, so if I just try to execute this code, so I'll get my merged here. Okay, so in which I have id column is there, quantity column is there, and price column is also there. This is how we can just form some of the merging operation with respect to the data frame. Again, one thing is that we can just tune down this operation. Let me just take this thing and let me just add few of the stuff with respect to df2. Okay, let me just take in the df2 as well. Okay, so maybe pricing is there, the quantity won't be sold. Let me just take the here only. So we will take np dot nan. Okay, nan is there, and let me just take a few value of this. Control C is there, 2 3 4 5. Okay, I have a few values of np of nan similar to null values we have, and let me just try to execute right now. Okay, and I'm getting error, or arrays must have same length. Okay, so all arrays must have same length. I'm getting some error with respect to that because I am adding some of the stuff in the data frame 1 column. Okay, data frame 1 column, and try to get the thing with respect to the merge here. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is that, okay, let me just try to one thing. I have to add something with respect to here as well. Okay, with respect to the here as well, so that the error won't be there. So same thing, I'm just copying those stuff, right? Copying those stuff and put here as well. Let me try to execute. Okay, so the execution is completed, but right now you can just won't find the np.nan with respect to record, right? Because we are completed the inner join. Let me just take the left join here. Okay, so what left join is says that take all the records from the left table which is on the df1 and match from the df2. Let me try to execute, and here you can see some of the nan values are there. Clear guys? Okay, so this is how you can just tune in down the merge operation into the pandas as well. Clear? So let me just move forward with the other questions we have. So how can you just drop the null values? Okay, let's suppose this is my record, so this is my resultant data frame I have. Okay, so just save this into the another reference variable, and let me just try to bring those again. Just check. Okay, those some of the nan values are there. I wanted to drop it from the res variable, so let me just go here, res drop na. Okay, and in place is the method or argument. Okay, in place is the argument we have, in which just existing data frame will be modified without creating any duplicate data object. Let me just try to execute again. So all the null values will be dropped. This is how it's specifically used for the data cleaning and handling the null value with respect to the ADA project we have, right? So this is how we can just handle the null values using the drop na method, or there are some of the other methods available for as well, like a fill na is there, right? Or we can just take some of the advanced method like forward fill, backward fill. There are numerous ways you can just handle the null values in the Python. Okay, so let's do some of the other questions we have, right, for this session. And this is the questions I have. How to access the first 5 entries from the data frame? Okay, so to access the first 5 entries from the data frame, we will use the head method, and will specify the n value. Either you can just 5, just you can see the 5, you will need 10, you will get 10, you will need 20, you will get 20. But if you haven't specified anything, then it will default back to 5 only. Let me just go here. So right now, okay, so it's my df, so it is my df, so we can just use the head here. So I'm getting the first 5 record here. Let me just try to bring the sum of the first 20 records. Let me just try to execute this stuff, and I'm getting first 20 records. So indexing start from the 0, that's why you will see here a 19. Okay, so this is how you can just get the first 20 records we have. Then let's similar to head, we have a tail is there, right? We have a tail is there, df dot tail, and if I haven't specified anything, then I am getting the last few rows. Let me just get tail of 10, then I am getting the last 10 rows we have. So it's a quite important and interesting methods we have with respect to the pandas. Okay, so last question for the today's sessions we have: how to fetch a data entry from the pandas data frame using the given value index. So fetching the data from the given data frames can be done using the two ways. Okay, let me just go here and try to bring some of the, let me just erase those stuff right now. Okay, fetching the sub part from the data frame. How can I do that? So let me just go. We have two methods are there. df.lock is there. Okay, lock is there, and in that lock we will just do the column based indexing. So let me just type the rows is there and column is there. Okay, and here is another way to do that, df.lock of. Okay, df.lock of, in terms of row, just start of row, then end of row, right, comma column names we can take, right, column names. This is the way you can just use the lock method. And we also have a .ilock method, which is an index based lock, and here you can also specify some of the index values of rows comma columns as well. Okay, it's purely based on index, we can't use the label here. So let me just give the example. log of something like if I specify here something like 0 0 colon 1 colon 10, so from the row 1 to row 9, so end minus 1 is there, and again I'm just taking some column, so I want column from the 2 to 5, so it will take the 2 to 4, so end minus 1 is always there. So these are the two ways are there, just we can just fetch the data from the given data frame object. So log and ilog is there. Let me just go back with my this data frame here, right? So there are many columns are there. Let me just take this one, df dot log is there. Okay, df dot log is there. I am specifying something like a rows, so I want all the rows, right? And I want some columns, so I can specify the column names here. Okay, so I can specify column names like something like total rooms, right? Total rooms, and then I can just specify another column name of population is there, and we can just try to execute this stuff. Let me just try to execute this stuff. Okay, total rooms is there. Let me just check some spellings as well. Okay, total rooms is there. Okay, and try to execute that stuff, and I'm getting those results, right? So I'll get all the rows, so it just terminated some of the things in between for better representation and get the specified column here. So this is how the log behaves, and you can just take the ilog also. Okay, so it's a purely index based thing. Ilog is there, and you can specify. Let me just take from row 1 I need something like 10 record, and for column from 2 to 5, just we can see some of the stuff with respect to that, and let's try to execute, and I am getting those kind of record. 1 to 10 is there, and these are the from column 2 to column 4. Let me just go here. So column 2 is 0 1 2, this one, and we can just start it out with respect to that as well. Clear? So these are the some of the questions we have with respect to this session. We will meet in the another session with the more Python interview questions. Till then, have a nice day.